Hello everybody and welcome to Mark Goldbridge. That's football. It's Tottenham versus Everton. And I tell you what, I've been saying this for quite a while, at least a couple of weeks. This is the game that really is the pick of the weekend for me. It doesn't mean it's going to be the best game. I felt Liverpool-Leeds last night was a fantastic advert for Premier League football and opening day weekends, and it was a cracking game, and fair play to Leeds and fair play to Liverpool. You know, I don't think anyone could really argue about the performance and the result. It could have gone, you know, Leeds could have got what maybe they deserved, but look, Liverpool were very good as well. So really good game, but this one to me is so exciting. James Rodriguez is a player that is one of my favourite players. You know, I think we all have those not controversial players because everyone loves Ronaldo and Messi, but we all have that player that, you know, we think outside the box. That I like that player. Not many people's going to have that player as one of their favourites. And James Rodriguez is one of my favourites, but massively inconsistent. Now in the Premier League, I would have been excited whatever club he was at, but Everton definitely are a club that I think that he can that can do quite well. Ancelotti is a coach that, you know, I wanted at United a couple of times over the last 6 years. So they've also bought Doucouré in, Allen plays. So the Everton team, the front six is Andre Gomez, Alan, Doucouré, James Rodriguez, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. So, you know, that's a decent front six. Then you've got Spurs, who've got Son, Moura and Kane with Dele Alli and Winks and is it Højbjerg, their new player as well. How are you doing today, Mark? Says Danny Stool. I'm very well. I'm very excited about this game. So smash a like, subscribe if you are new, and I will give you the team news now. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to give it you now. But yeah, I'm excited about this game. I think it's got so much on it because I feel that, you know, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, United, you expect them to be in the top four. Arsenal, Spurs, you probably expect them to be 5th and 6th. Maybe they'll hope to be a little bit better. But Everton, where are Everton going to fixture this season? What are Everton going to do? They've spent a bit of money. They've got a good coach. You look at their squad. You look at their bench as well. They should be doing better than, you know, fighting for around 8th or 9th. I think Everton have got to get close to that top 6. And to do that, they need a good start to the season. You need to believe. If they get turned over by Spurs today, that's a team that's maybe going to finish 5th or 6th, and you get turned over. So mindset. Maybe my prediction is probably going to be 2-2, but I hope for a really good game. So in goal for Tottenham, you've got Lloris, and then you've got Doherty making his debut, Alderweireld, Eric Dyer, and Ben Davies. I don't think that back four is great. I'm not a big fan of Eric Dyer, to be honest with you. You got Højbjerg and Winks, Lucas Moura, Ali, Son, and Kane to complete the team there. Big fan of Son, of course, very good player. Harry Kane, what a striker. On the bench, you've got Davinson Sanchez, Lamela, Hart, Sissoko, Bergwijn, Aurier, and Ndombele. I mean, on paper, that's a good bench for Spurs. Everton, Pickford, Coleman, Keane, Mina, Digne. Again, I think the weakest areas for both these teams on paper is their defences. Then you've got Doucouré, Alan and Andre Gomez. Andre Gomez, very important player for Everton. Don't go to sleep on him. And then Rodriguez, number 19, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin complete the team. I've got Calvert-Lewin in my fantasy Premier League team, by the way. And then their bench is Kenny, Sigurdsson, Walcott, Bernard, Davies, Keane and Neves. So, I mean, look, that's not a bad bench for Everton as well. They're starting to build out bench options. Didn't Everton buy a player last season? Can somebody remind me of the player that Everton bought last season? It was a midfielder, and they obviously sold Idrissa Gueye, and they brought in this midfielder that was meant to replace him, and he got injured, and I don't even know if he's back fit yet. I cannot remember what his name was. So, no place for Balassi. He's not even on the bench. I don't even know if Balassi's gone back to Sporting Lisbon. Somebody would have to tell me how that went. JB8 says, how is your fantasy Premier League team going? Well, we are not kicking off just yet, are we? So I can show you my team, and I don't want tiers here. I don't want tiers for losers, but for winners, this is my team. It's got 46 points already. I've still got quite a few players to play. Patricio's not played, Stevens hasn't played, and Cody hasn't played. But Justin played for Leicester, clean sheet and an assist. And Vardy's just scored 2 goals, and he will get man of the match. So that'll be another 3 points on top of that. So 2 goals and man of the match. Obviously, Willian got me 14 yesterday. Zaha got me 8, and Tierney got me 6. So I'm on 46 points. That's going to go up to 50 points with the bonus points that will go to Vardy and Justin. And I've still got my captain Werner to come, Calvert-Lewin, Traore, Cody, Patricio, and Stevens. So I could be, you know, realistically, I'd like to get up to about 70 points, which would be a very, very good opening weekend. But steady goes for me because I've got my teams playing over the next. I've got some people playing tomorrow, and obviously I've got Calvert-Lewin today. So I wouldn't mind him getting a goal. In all honesty, but we'll see how it goes. Back to the studio, and Gaberman was his name, or however you pronounce it. So there you go. Takeaway was absolutely lovely, Dean Stallard. It was an Indian, and it was absolutely lovely. You know what I had because I ordered it live. Mark, I have to say this is the first time I'm seeing Rodriguez play since that famous World Cup from he had. Really interesting to see how he does. Very, 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 very inconsistent player, Nick P. But, you know, the Premier League is an unforgiving league. Is it going to be a flop or not? I think it's exciting. And fair play to Everton for taking that chance. Thanks for the super chats coming in. Paul Smith says, you remind me a lot of my mate who lived in Australia for 6 months and never shuts up about it. Bit like you with Ireland. Yeah, but I didn't live in Australia for 6 months. I lived in Ireland for 3.5 years. Big difference. Mark Goldbridge for Prime Minister says, Mark, would you just like to say thanks for helping my mental health majorly? Also, who do you think will win today? Hope you're well. I am well. I hope you are well. And it's for me, I think I'm going to go 2-2. But I'm massively excited about this game. This was my pick of the weekend. This was the game. If I'd had to choose one game to do a watch along for, I would have chosen this one. Everton to win. Remember this comment, says Dane Grayson. But it's a big game, you know. I think if Everton lose, then Everton fans are going to be like, oh, it's another false dawn. If Spurs lose, they're going to panic about that. I think a draw is the one I've gone for because it probably sort of suits both teams to have that and then go and have a good season. But look, it's going to be exciting, and I'm really excited to see how it goes. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. We're about 300 away from 227, not 224. We've moved on from that, so... Thanks everyone who's getting involved. We are doing a watch-along. Our next watch-along is tomorrow night. Chelsea against Brighton at Brighton. Timo Werner's my fantasy Premier League captain. So if I've predicted... I'm not saying I want Chelsea to win, but if I've predicted that they will win right, I think he'll get a goal or two tomorrow. I am going to be talking about some topics through the game. I do want to... If anyone wants to bring in any big topics, more than happy to talk about it. I want to talk about Mason Greenwood. And I want to talk about the transfers left in the transfer window. Who do you think is going to get players? Obviously, as a United fan, we really hope that we're going to get Sancho, Ancelotti and Mourinho embracing there and looking very happy. They, respect there between two fantastic managers. I think United will get Sancho at some point. Don't get me started on when. And I do think that I expect Arsenal to bring in either Partey or Aouar. So, I think there is going to be some business to come. Okay, Mark, thoughts on us selling Martinez? Feel like it's a bad mistake. Leno is error prone. Also, do you not pick Liverpool players in Fantasy Premier League, says Pepe AFC. I didn't pick Liverpool players this week, and I don't really know why. I think it's probably price. And also, being a United fan, Liverpool fans are probably the same about putting United players in. It makes no sense not to put a Liverpool player in, but it's probably to do with rivalry that I just don't think about doing it, and they're expensive. Martinez, remind me where Martinez is going. Is he going to Villa? Because I think he'll be a good goalkeeper for them. Marcus Wynn says, do you think we will see the Rodriguez that we saw in the World Cup that made him such a good young talent? I mean, it's a big ask. That was, 6 years ago, that World Cup? So it's a very, very big ask. There will be more cooking videos. In fact, I've been discussing it with my wife today. Some of the recipes I've got planned. I've stopped it purposely because I wanted to bring it back in the autumn for some more autumnal meals. So I've... spoilers, I'm going to do an apple pie at some point. A lovely stew. I've got some cracking dishes and... I think they'll be good. Sancho's been selected for the Dortmund squad tomorrow. We'll keep you up to date with anything that's going on in the wider football world as well. If anything breaks about any sort of transfers, we'll be telling you about that. But look, I'm very excited about this game, and I hope we're going to get a good one. We had a great day yesterday. We had the Arsenal Fulham game. I thought that was a decent game. And we had the Classic last night. So we're watching some good games together, and I'm hoping I've put a lot of. I've put a lot of pressure on this game by saying it's my pick of the weekend. Let's see if it goes like that, because I think it's big. Just a little bit of breaking news, actually. Nuno has signed a new 3-year deal at Wolves, a three-year deal at Wolves, which is rather interesting, isn't it? I mean, that is quite interesting. He's done a great job there. He has done a great job there. And actually, Martinez has gone from Arsenal to Aston Villa for Fabrizio Romano until 2024. They're still trying to get Rashica in as well. And Arsenal keep working to sell players like Torreira. And then we'll try again for a midfield like Aouar or Thomas Partey, which is exactly what I was talking about. Atletico still convinced to refuse any negotiations for Partey. Olympic Lyon have turned down swap deals for Aouar and still want 60 million euros. And Fabrizio's also spoken about United and Thiago. Liverpool still favourites to sign Thiago because of Klopp pushing, but there's no official bid yet, waiting for the last days to get a lower fee. So yeah, that's going to run on Thiago, I think. But we're about to kick off for this game. I've gone with a 2-2 draw. A lot of people fancy Everton to win it. Don't sleep on Spurs. I mean, if they do quite well, they have got some good players, of course. Harry Kane and Son and, Dele Alli on his... I mean, I think Dele Alli's got to kick on. I've been watching All or Nothing, and Mourinho's right. Dele Alli was a very talented player who just lost his way, and I think Mourinho's job is to try and get the best out of him. But what can Ancelotti get out of this Everton side? And let me just say, look, their new signings, Doucouré, we know about him. James Rodriguez, people know about that name. What will he do in the Premier League? But don't forget about Alan, the midfielder they've brought in from Serie A. He's a very, very good player as well, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he adapts, because if he does well, and Rodriguez does well, and Doucouré does well, Everton have added three key first-team players there to a team that was improving under Ancelotti anyway. They finished the season a bit off. They needed a miracle really to get into the Europa League spots, but that could really help Everton. They're not in they're not in Europe this season, so they're going to get time and breaks in the week, which will allow them hopefully not to have injuries, etc. But we're about to kick off at Spurs. Can't wait to get fans back in the ground, but they're not back yet. That would be breaking news if it was. And any big topics you want to discuss while we're watching the game, that's absolutely fine if we get time. Calvert-Lewin's my boy, Fantasy Premier League. Have you got any players in the Fantasy Premier League playing right now? I'm doing very well. I've got 50 points. Just showing off, but I have. And we have kicked off here, and hopefully the timer is on the screen, which it is. Let's come back to the live comments. With creativity behind Calvert-Lewin, how many goals should he be scoring in your opinion, says Martial FC? Well, I did read something last season that Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin have got more goals. They've got so many goals for people of under a certain age group, which is interesting. So we'll see how it goes. A few people have got Richarlison in their team as well. Is it Richarlison or Richarlison? I must try and say that. And Air Slayer says I got 63 points yesterday because of Salah. Yeah, if you had Salah in your team, you're going to score well this week. But I'm enjoying the Fantasy Premier League. A lot of people enjoy it for a couple of weeks and then they start to give up. But Digne, good left back as well. Tracy's got Doherty in their team. Keano and Pickford are the two weaknesses for Everton. Other than that, the 11 is pretty good, I think. Yeah. Well, I think Mina's a good centre-back. Everton's problem's going to be consistency. Even if they win today, I'd look at their next game and say, in fact, I can tell you what their next game is. But, it's Spurs on the attack here at the moment, but Everton nicked the ball away. And it's always interesting to see what everybody's start to the season is as well. So Everton have got to play Salford on Wednesday in the Carabao Cup. Waste of time, that is. So they've got West Brom next week, Everton, which they, that's the thing. If Everton get a win today or a draw today, they've then got to go and beat West Brom. Then they've got Crystal Palace away, and if you lose either of those games, you become the inconsistent side that many people feel that Everton are. So that's what Everton need to do. They need to be consistent this season. They need consistency from their players, and that goes down to individuals as well. I think Yerry Mina's a good player, but he's got to be consistent. Son shoots from distance there, easy stop for Pickford. Although you always think, is Pickford going to make a mistake? Just trying to figure out the Everton lineup here. Who's got the pink boots on? Richarlison. Has he got a silly haircut as well? I think he has. Son's down the left-hand side here, into the box, does well, and he's got a goal kick there. Very good play by Coleman. So Spurs are actually playing in a Europa League qualifier on Thursday against Lokomotiv Plovdiv, wherever that is. Then they've got Southampton away next weekend, and then they've got Newcastle. So again, for Spurs, there's an opportunity there in their first 3 games to go and get some points. Okay. There we go. So yeah, I've gone with a 2-2 draw. We'll see how it goes, but the trouble is you build these games up and sometimes it doesn't go that way, but I think it's going to be a good game. Here is Decore into Andre Gomez. Really is the string puller of the team. James Rodriguez gets on the ball. And that's a lovely ball into Andre Gomez. Into Richarlison. He falls over. Digne. Number 6 is Alan, isn't he? I think he's just going to sit in front of the back 4. The Liverpool game, you still think Leeds going to get relegated, says Victor. I'd be surprised if Leeds get relegated, really. To be honest with you, I can't give you the third team. I think we can all predict a team, and that's why I said Leeds, because I can't give you the third team that's going to go down. Fulham and West Brom, I think, are nailed on to go down. I think more than ever. I think it's a bit boring, actually. I think Fulham and West Brom are going down. And, it'd be nice to be wrong, but I think we know 2 of the 3 that are going down before a ball's been kicked. The third team to go down, really difficult to pick. I mean, some people feel it might be West Ham, getting beat 2-0 at Newcastle yesterday. That's probably not a bad shout. And to be fair, that's what Heel Hock has just said. It will be West Ham, and that's not a good start for West Ham yesterday. Anyway, decent start here. 5 minutes gone. Spurs were thrown. I do want to just bring in some topics, actually, while we're talking, being as it's Sunday. Mason Greenwood's been in the press today, and there's been some reaction to that. But basically, he's had to come out and apologise again, Mason Greenwood, for inhaling this laughing gas, which is, I think it's illegal, actually. But it's not like he did it last week. This is in the past. It's historic. But this is because the tabloids have basically, I think, spent this week digging up Mason Greenwood's past. Because this is what happens. Basically, you make a mistake, and what the press will do in the British press, gutter press, for the next 2 weeks, is they will speak to absolutely everybody to try and, nice ball over the top there, and it's cleared by Coleman, to try and dig something up to follow the story up from last week. And that's what they've done with Mason Greenwood. And I think it's disgusting, really. And to me, I just feel that, as I said this morning on the United Stand, why don't they have this same heat on Phil Foden? Why don't they have the same grind on Phil Foden? Why is it on Mason Greenwood? Is it because he's a United player? Is it for more sinister reasons? Raheem Sterling has said this sort of thing before. Is it because he's a young black player? Or is it because he's a Manchester United player and that's going to give you more focus? I just think it's wrong, and I think at some point, in some time, and I think we've already hit it. I think most people see these stories come out, whether they're a United fan or not, and go, "This is just crap journalism." Crap journalism. It is just crap journalism. The reality is, he's an 18-year-old kid. You've got loads of footballers doing things; they just don't get caught. Fact. There's loads of them. Loads of Premier League footballers doing things they shouldn't do, shagging about, drinking, doing whatever. And then, you always get, someone's always got a skeleton in their closet. And I just think it's a witch hunt. And at the end of the day, if this lad develops like I know he can develop, and in a World Cup in 4 years' time, he scores a hat-trick against France in the final and we win it, where's that gutter press going to be then? And, this is why we struggle. We struggle as a society in this country because we big people up, but the minute there's something bad, we believe the bad. There's no benefit of the doubt. There's no... He's a young lad. It's let's believe it. Let's really believe that, because we're bitter. We're bitter as a society in this country, and that's why the gutter press lives off it. Nice little bit of play here. Digne gets the cross in. Ooh, good header away. Very open game this. Both teams playing really, really good. But you know what? I've also heard. You can do one, Punya Brit. No way. I'm not having that sort of shit in the live comments. See you later. I also heard. Sky Sports talking about it, and certain pundits saying, it feels wrong. There's levels to this game as well. I talk as a Manchester United fan, and I'm sure a lot of clubs have it as well, but I've had this for 3 years with Martial and Pogba. And this isn't the gutter press. This is the mainstream media. This is ex-players. This is, you know, punditry with an agenda against Pogba and Martial that they never have against Lingard or Rashford. So, you know, I think everybody's guilty of it. Everybody's guilty of it. It's basically victimisation. It's an agenda. And I've got no problem with people going in on players who don't perform in a football pitch, don't deserve to be in an Arsenal shirt or a United shirt. To me, that criticism is valid. But this wandering into people's private lives to try and dishevel and victimise people, or an agenda because they're not English, it's wrong. It needs to stop, and people need to be vocal about it. And look, I've had an agenda against players. I thought Matic was shit in 2019, but then in 2020 he was brilliant, and that's fine because it's all about it's based on football. It's based on what they're doing in a football shirt. I've heard Arsenal fans give Xhaka loads of crap over the years. But they're quite happy with him at the moment because he's, you know that incident when he was subbed off and they felt that he was swearing at the fans, or he will never play for Arsenal again. He's got his head down and he's an important player for Arsenal, and that's absolutely fine. That's not Arsenal fans being flip-flops. That's just, you know, Spurs. Some Spurs fans probably get really pissed off with Dele Alli last season at times, but, you know, when he's on his game, he gets the praise. Footballers don't mind being criticised when they're not delivering on the pitch because they're their own biggest critic a lot of the time. But going after them for what's happening in their private life, like they're paid a lot of money to play football. I said this when Cantona, I did it as an English lesson subject actually, because everyone's like, Cantona should never play football again. He's paid all this money. He's a role model. And I said no, he's paid football. He's paid lots of money to play football. Like, kicking a fan in a stadium's not great, and he will get dealt with for that. But he's a footballer. He's not paid to be Mr. Role Model. He's paid to be a bloody footballer. And Mason Greenwood's paid a lot of money at 18 to be a footballer. He's got to learn everything else. Anyway, let's go. I'm going to get rid of anybody who starts talking about a Sancho deal being off because they're lying, and we're watching Everton against Spurs, so I don't need anything like that in here. So we've got a few idiots in, and we'll just block them and talk about topical things and the game that we're watching. I've had my dinner, Advelf. I've had a lovely chicken roast dinner with bread sauce and stuffing and carrots and runner beans, roast potatoes and chicken. Lovely stuff. But a very fast-paced start here. Enjoying it. Somebody just said there, James Rodriguez in the Premier League just seems really odd. Please subscribe if you're new, by the way. Bottom right hand corner. 10 minutes gone in this game, and it's been a good one. Alan there, just running the midfield. Little player, there he is. Little player, but he just goes up and down in front of the back four, playing it off, one touch, two touch. Really, really good player. And for a player like, I mean, I'm not saying he could do it for Man City or Liverpool or United or a Chelsea, but for a player like, you know, he's definitely going to be a very good player for Everton. Declan Rice to Chelsea would be a very good signing for them. I went 2-2 Sin games on this one. Mriddle's got Son in his team. Do you think he'll score or assist? I can't say yes or no, mate. We've got a few trolls in the live comments that will just get blocked. There's no update on the Sancho deal. It's still being worked on by Manchester United, and it will still happen. So basically, anybody who says Sancho deal off is outing themselves as a bitter, sad little virgin, because it's not off. It's sad, really, that people have to try and infiltrate the live comments as virgins to identify themselves as that. So I don't know. I don't know why people do it. It's really weird. It's almost like getting blocked by YouTube live comments is notoriety to them. But I don't know. I don't really get it. But I don't even know why people are talking about Sancho, because there's absolutely no updates. And from somebody who is intrinsically linked with quite a few journalists and people who are quite close to this deal, my phone has nothing on it. So, and it would vibrate in front of me if anything had happened. So there's absolutely nothing happened. And also, what I would say about the Sancho deal is I'll know it at least 10 minutes before you even find out on Twitter. So if anything happens with Sancho, I'm going to know it before any of you lot anyway. So, well, I say any of you lot. Fabrizio might be in the live comments, but there we go. But a good start to this game. 0-0, no clear-cut chances, but both teams probing. And I think, you know, some people say, it's a boring game. It's not a boring game because there's a good pace to it. And both teams are probing. They just can't break each other down at the moment. When are you going to play Fall Guys next? Is Corey O'Hanlon? Don't know. Don't know. Might be tonight. In fact, if you want to follow me on Twitch, I've dropped the link in the video description. It might be tonight. How will Everton do this season, says ADZ? I think that I said that Everton are my prediction to be like the shock team of the season, and I know Sheffield United were effectively that last year, but no, I do. I think that they will do well, but it's hard to predict. I think 7th for Everton is a really, really good season for them. Troy Edwards, are you still confident about Sancho signing? 100%. Well, I'm not. I can't be 100%. I'm 90% sure it's going to happen. Yeah. We have got moderators in, Geordie. I can see it. Vandy Candy's in there, so you're wrong about that. I will get the new FIFA, yes, Ryan. Spurs knocking the ball around nice here at the moment, but Dele Alli loses that, but then they win the throw-in. Alex Brown, sorry. You don't need to keep telling me. Not going to go back looking for it. And who will come second according to you, Dr. Danger? I said Chelsea. Oh, you know what? People laughed at me last season when I said Liverpool were going to win the league. So, you know, the whole point of my Premier League predictions are that they're mine. You know, that's just the way it works. We'll see at the end of the season how accurate they are. Shock underperformer of the season is a good point from Chris Hodges. What does everybody think? Shock underperformer of the season. Richarlison's in! Richarlison's in! Toby Alderweireld! Richarlison, cut it back to Calvert-Lewin, you greedy git! What are you doing, you bloody greedy idiot? Get him off! You greedy little shit! What a joke! That's my fantasy Premier League team screwed! What an idiot! I can't believe this. Back pass, terrible back pass. Alderweireld can't get there. Richarlison's running through. He rounds Lloris. He's got a ridiculous angle. He's got a pass back to Calvert-Lewin and he shoots. That's the definition of being a greedy ball-hogging shit. Never looks up. Oh, shut up. Shut up. That's a disgrace. That could have been Calvert-Lewin with 4 points in the Fantasy Premier League. All he's got to do is square it back. Greedy shit. Oh, I can't believe that. Would I have this much passion if I didn't have Calvert-Lewin in my Fantasy Premier League team? Probably not. But he should have done it. It's the bloody pink boots. He's got Phil Jones's boots on. Bloody hell. What a prat. What a greedy, greedy prat. I can't believe it. Just got to cut it back. You get an assist. I'll be furious with that. If I'm Calvert-Lewin or I'm Ancelotti, I'm furious with that. Team. We're a team, bloody hell. Can't believe it. Should be 1-0 to Everton. I'm on 50 points. I should be on bloody 54 if it wasn't for the pink boots Pratt up front. And I'm not talking about Calvert-Lewin, who's also wearing pink boots. He's just got to square it. All he's got to do is square it. Fancy Premier League does make you get a little bit more interested, to be fair, I must admit. Please subscribe if you're new, by the way. We're on 226, 750. So we're 250 away from 227. Bottom right hand corner, subscribe. Loads of watch-alongs on this channel. General football chat. Everybody is welcome. And we're going to get our first look at Chelsea tomorrow against Brighton. I've got Timo Werner as my captain. He's the only Chelsea player I've got in my Fantasy Premier League team, actually. Should be 1-0 to Everton. Very, very tight game. Both teams playing quite well. But Richarlison pouncing on a back pass, quicker than Alderweireld, rounds Lloris, acute angle, shoots. Calvert-Lewin is in the middle. He's just got to pass it back to him and Calvert-Lewin scores and he goes for the shot. It's just greedy. Greedy. So bloody greedy. Hey, you know what? Brighton could get something against Chelsea tomorrow. Brighton are a decent side. They are. Aye, they are. Rodriguez is playing Darcy Harrison. He's not playing badly either. I think him and Alan. It's just a it's quite an even game, to be fair. He's got it now, and he clears it. It's going to take James Rodriguez a little bit of time to get used to this league, by the way. Number 19. The interesting thing with Rodriguez is going to be assists, free kicks and corners. Would you take Rodriguez in the Fantasy Premier League or Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin? It's better to keep more quality in the midfield or forward. I've got FIFA 20 at £4, says Danielle. I think Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin are a good player to have on Fantasy Premier League. I think I just went for Calvert-Lewin because he was cheaper. And Gaz Elliott says, I hope Lampard gets the sack. It will be interesting what happens with transfers, actually. I do want to talk about that. Who do you think generally there's going to be a lot of transfers? What sort of transfers do you think are going to happen in the next 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks of the transfer window? I do think United will get Sancho and another. I do think that Arsenal will offload some players and get Aouar or Partey in, which will be good for them. I think Chelsea and Declan Rice, you know what, actually I'm honestly going to say yes, because Chelsea just seem to be doing everything. So it's I can't say no. I'd like to say no, but it just seems that they're doing absolutely everything at the moment. So yeah, I do think that they'll get Declan Rice because they've had just such a great transfer window. I still think Liverpool are favourites for Thiago. I know some people won't like that, but I do. If you had to choose Leeds or Liverpool to win the league this year, says Phil Tomlinson. Oh, God. Probably Leeds because Liverpool level up with us if they win the league, don't they? So, but either or is going to hurt. If Mourinho doesn't win a trophy this season, do you think he'll leave or will Levy sack him? If either of those happen, is that it for him in the Prem, says Jacob Godber. I don't see Mourinho managing in the Premier League again after this. But I predicted Spurs to win the Europa League, so Spurs have been quite good in this game so far. I think it's a very equal game. Oh, lovely play by Alan. $100 subscribers away from 227. If you're not subscribed, bottom right hand corner. Mourinho is always good on the second season, says Darcy Harrison. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. What do we think about Spurs this season, second season with Jose Mourinho? I mean, I'll say the same as what I said about Arsenal yesterday. I think if Spurs or Arsenal get in the top four, that is an amazing season for them. I think top four is closed. It has to be, you know. United, Chelsea, Liverpool and City should have top four on lockdown. The only vulnerable team I think is, well, there's two. United, as a United fan, I wouldn't say we're nailed on to improve from last year if we don't get a couple of players in, but I think we will get those players in. Chelsea should not be out the top four and Lampard will be sacked if they are. So very, very difficult, even if Arsenal and Spurs improve, to get in the top four. So the Europa League becomes very important for Mourinho. And I think that Mourinho is Mourinho dissects a season. It might not have worked well for him at United, but everywhere else it did. He knows how to dissect a season, and he will look at it and go, right, he'll know very, very quickly if his team can get top 4. And if they can't get top 4, he'll look at that Europa League and he'll prioritise it. So, speculative shot there from Yerry Mina. Way over the bar. 22 minutes gone. 0-0. Super chat. Oh, what a cross. And Harry Kane was very close to that on the back post. Could have been 1-0. Son whipped a cross in. He feels it should be 1-0. I don't know whether Harry Kane hesitated or it's a lovely curling cross to the back post. Harry Kane can't do much more there. It's a lovely cross by Son. Bends it towards the back post. And Harry Kane is like that far away from studding it in. What a ball. So it could be 1-1 in this game. 2 good chances there. Lovely layoff by Rodriguez there. Decore loses it. Not a big fan of Decore, to be honest with you. Where do you realistically think we'll finish in the Champions League, says Lewis Carey? Presuming you're a Manchester United fan, I would say Manchester United will finish. I think United need to get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and anything else is a bonus. Dele Alli. Oh, I think he should have shot there. He tried to cross. And that's a foul. And James Rodriguez has done really well there. I thought he was fouled. Look at that. Look at that. That's the thing about Rodriguez or James and Alan. You watch what they do with the ball when they get it. They're not losers of possession. They're possession. See there, Alan into Rodriguez, and then Rodriguez puts it out to Richarlison. They're possession retainers in an attacking way. Nice little ball into Gomez. Cross. And Spurs should get rid of that. They do. But yeah, you watch how many times Alan or James lose the ball. Spurs look a bit better, says JC20. Oh, that's a little bit lucky. And now it's Mora. Puts it wide to Doherty. 25 minutes gone. It's a decent cross. Should be 1-0. No. It's Son, though. Oh, well headed away there. That was going in the top corner. Still Spurs. But well done, Richarlison. Calvert-Lewin now. He's on his toes. Andre Gomez. Slip him in. Calvert-Lewin. Oh, he's got it stuck under his feet. Now it's Richarlison. Rodriguez. He'll hit that. No, he won't. Oh, good little bit of play. Didn't get his shot off. Both teams looking good on the attack. What did I do last night? I did watch Batman last night. I've got half an hour left of The Dark Knight. Don't tell me what happens to the Joker. It seems like he's going to come unstuck, but he's very arrogant. I know there's a Batman 3, so I presume Batman gets out alive. But very, very good film so far. Harvey Dent's face, Two-Face. Ooh, that's disgusting. I'll tell you what, that's quite a weird one, isn't it? Because we are, we're effectively back into the real world now. And yet, it's a Monday night tomorrow night, obviously. And Sheffield United and Wolves are kicking off at 6 o'clock. You would never get a 6 o'clock game on a Monday night before lockdown, would you? Pickford pissing about with it at the back, but gets away with it. I do like the way Everton passed the ball about, by the way. Here's James Rodriguez on the ball. He's got that ball on again, and he keeps finding this ball. Switches it to the left. Digne. And offside. I like all the Batman films, if I'm honest with you. So, nearly half an hour gone in this game. Drorty's just messaged me saying, have you seriously not watched The Dark Knight before? He's a big fan. I'm just shitting people. Of course I've seen it, yeah. I watched it. I tell you what, I actually watched. Here's a story for you. I actually, you know where the first time I watched The Dark Knight was? At the cinema in Manchester. I was in Manchester for 4 days, just after I got married. And long story short, one of our presents, because I had a daughter at the time, and I still do, but that was the only one I had. She was only about 13 months. And one of our wedding presents was that the grandparents would have her for 4 days and let us go away, because when you have kids, it's hard to get away, of course, because you've got to take the baby with you. So we went and stayed in Manchester for 4 days and did a few things in Manchester, because obviously I quite like Manchester. And it was at the time that the Dark Knight was out, so we watched it in the cinema. And I just remember walking out and thinking, I love that film. It was absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favourite films. I'm very sad that the Batman's being remade, because I just think Christian Bale and the Dark Knight trilogy is one of the best trilogies ever. I love it. The Joker dies, says Mark. He doesn't. I've seen it before. I've seen it about 10 times. Just told Draughty, and he doesn't die. He dies in real life. Richarlison. That's a corner, ref. It's an intriguing game, this one. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I think it's an intriguing game. Yes, I've got the same shorts on as yesterday. It's been hot and I've been in the garden, so I just thought, you know what? I'm all about the environment, me. You know, I don't wear one pair of shorts and then change them the next day. You can wear a pair of shorts for at least 4 or 5 days, as long as you don't get anything on them. Rodriguez looks great in the Everton kit, says Red Fred. I think this is where to watch Rodriguez, on the corners. Watch this. It's a lovely corner as well. Beats the first man. Spurs get rid of it. But Everton are given as good as they've got here. This is a very, very equal game. Are you looking forward to Christmas, Mark? Says Sally Sinclair. I do like Christmas. It's not a controversial statement, unless you don't. But actually, I remember on the local news a few years ago. I shouldn't laugh. You wonder what happened to this girl when she was growing up, because she said, I don't know. It wasn't. It must have been the local news. And basically, she was allergic to Santa. Right? Don't laugh about this. Right? I've told the story on Going for Goldbridge. I think she was allergic to Santa. So she was about my age, 30s, and she basically was on the local news. Another corner here for Everton. Let me just see what happens here. She's allergic to Santa anyway. I'll come back to it. Cross coming in. Digne will take it from this side. In it comes. Headed away. Spurs good in the air, of course. Lucas Moura with the ball over the top. Son. That looked like a foul to me on Alan, to be honest. Spurs could benefit here. Son. Ali. What a save by Pickford. And it goes for a corner at the other end. But which Everton players would you take at United, to Swifty? That's a good question. I wouldn't mind Calvert-Lewin at United. I wouldn't mind Calvert-Lewin at United as a backup striker for for Martial. Digne is a good player as well. I'd like that. I don't think anybody else. Corner to Spurs. We will come back to the Santa story. So Son's on the corner this time. And it comes. Headed away. Both teams defensively good on corners, to be fair. And there we go. So it's a goal kick. So yeah, the story is that this girl, she's not a girl, she's a grown woman, hates Christmas. She's on the local news and she hates Christmas because she's allergic to Santa. So you're like, what? This is an interesting story. I won't turn it over. So I keep listening, and basically she sat there being interviewed, and she says for the month of December, it used to be the month of December, but now they start celebrating Christmas so early. It's most of November now as well. I have to stay inside for all the festivities, and we don't have any Christmas tree or anything like that. I can only watch video recordings because you just never know what the adverts are going to be about. Because every time I see Santa, I throw up. I was like, what? And I'm sure everyone else watching it is what, and even the reporters like, what? And it's like, no, it's a proper condition. Every time I see Santa Claus, I throw up, and it makes me feel really ill. They never delved into why and where this had started, but straight away my mind was like, yeah, there might need to be some investigations into people who dressed up as Santa around her when she was a kid, because why? I mean, everyone gets allergic to stuff. There's people out there who actually marry their cars, not because they like washing it, because they want to screw it. Like those sort of people do exist. They fall in love with their car and sexually are aroused by it. So there's lots of weird things out there, but throwing up every time you see Santa, I mean, I don't know. And that's true. That's a true story. You could probably Google it. In fact, I'm going to do it now. Allergic to Santa. Well, there's something about a boy who's got it, but it wasn't a boy. Definitely wasn't a boy. Oh, I don't know. It's not coming up on Google. Google doesn't have the answer to everything anyway. Anyway, back to the game. 35 minutes gone. Intriguing game. It's played out exactly as I thought it would, actually. Fair play to Everton, and this is the progress that Everton have made, because they're away from home, and of course there's no fans there, but it's a very equal match, and it just shows you the progression of Everton and the signings they've made, that this is a very, very equal game. I think Everton's season will be defined by what they do over the next 2 or 3 games. I think they've got West Brom, Crystal Palace. What are they going to do in those sort of games? Yeah, I like Christmas anyway, and I'm not allergic to Santa. Decore, driving run from the midfield. He'll shoot. No, he won't. He'll give it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez will hit that. Oh, Lloris was diving. He curled it. Lloris was diving. I think he was worried for a moment. Curler from the edge of the box here. Decore driving wide to James Rodriguez, who hits a curler. And Lloris was worried enough to dive for it. I tell you what, anyone on the United stand, what did I always used to say about James Rodriguez a few years ago? He is Mr. Wand of a left foot. When I think of Wand of a left foot, obviously Mason Greenwood now, but James Rodriguez is the wand of a left foot player. He has got a wand of a left foot. I'll tweet that out. Well, Alan's hurt himself here. Is that true that Ivanovic, is that Ivanovic, the ex-Chelsea player, is going to West Brom? I thought he would have retired ages ago. Is that true? Branislav Ivanovic. I'm sure he's the lad who used to be... Well, lad. He was very good at Chelsea, but he must be about 50 now. Surely not. I got a new member here. Welcome to Samantha Reynolds. Cleared from the free kick there by Everton. Is Poch better than Sir Alex Ferguson, and is Tottenham as big as Man United, says Young King? No and no. He's 36, Ivanovic, says Tony Garner, and yes, he is going to West Brom. Wow. He's going straight back down to the Championship, I'm afraid. Beaten 3-0 by Leicester today, West Brom. Spurs putting a bit of pressure on here, but Everton do clear it. Super chat from Rubbernicking Gang. If you know, you know. He says, it's a shame PC Goldbridge and YouTube Goldbridge never met. Imagine the vlogs. Never mind cooking with Goldbridge, on the beat with Goldbridge. I can see a little comedy sketch doing that. I'd never have been allowed to do it, but it would have been good fun. Here we are, working nights in Birmingham City Centre. Let's do some funny things. But no, I would never have been allowed to do it, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a few funny stories. I can't tell you. I was going to tell you one. I can't tell you because it's people will say, "Oh, that did happen," and then there'll be all sorts of problems, and it didn't. Anyway, 40 minutes gone, 0-0 in this game. 5 minutes to half time. Very equal game. I think the game needs a goal. That's an understatement. We are 20 subscribers away from 227,000, by the way. So please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We are doing Chelsea Brighton tomorrow. I think it's going to be an interesting season to see what happens with Bergwijn as well. I mean, it's interesting watching that All or Nothing series and seeing him obviously coming to Spurs, but he's not really a first teamer at the moment. Penalties shouldn't count for the Golden Boot. It's ridiculous that Kane won it twice, says a Blue Whale. And do you think Spurs struggle because their pitch is much wider than the old White Hart Lane and they're used to playing very central under Poch, says Animish Ranjan. It's a good point. It's a good point. Well made. Oh, I've really hurt my leg. Doherty coming forward. Plays it into Kane. Back into Doherty. Oh, that would have been a great goal. Very good save by Pickford, actually. Came into Kane. Doherty continued the run. Kane dinked it over the top. He hits it first time from about 8 yards out. But Pickford's got his angles right, and it's a good save. Mark, I had a dream last night that you and I got in a fight over rugby, says Yavadot. It could happen. It could happen if it was during the Six Nations. We're down a pub. We've both had 4 or 5 Guinnesses. I'm English. You're Scottish. You're winning. You say the wrong thing. I say the wrong thing. And we end up pushing each other about. It could happen, to be honest. I do get quite competitive regardless. Can you do a watch along for the first Old Firm, says Amiga FIFA player. If it doesn't clash, I'd love to do one. But whenever the Old Firm is, there always seems to be a United game or a better Premier League game. That's a good save by Pickford, you know, because Doherty goes to place this. Look at the angle. Little dink by Kane. He's passing it towards the bottom corner on the volley. And that's a good save by Pickford. That's a good finish by Doherty. He's not done anything wrong. He's not volleyed it straight at the keeper. He's actually placed it. And Pickford's got his angles right with his feet. Callum says Højbjerg is invisible. And he was invisible for the Saints too. 3 minutes to half time. Best chance of the game, really. Well, I think Spurs have had 2 good chances. Everton have had 1. Richarlison should have squared it to Calvert-Lewin for a goal. He got greedy. And a good cross from Son. Harry Kane probably an inch away from passing it in. And then a good chance for Doherty from a good bit of creation by Harry Kane. Here is Rodriguez again. Richarlison. Greedy again. He's so bloody greedy. He should have passed that. He must be an infuriating player because I would never want him at United. He's so bloody greedy. Look at this. Shoots. And there's a pass to the left. Pass it to the left. The cross comes into Calvert-Lewin. Greedy. Onax says that James is running the show. He's having a good game. So it looks like it's going to be 0-0 at half time. Could have been famous last words then. And Spurs will get a chance to whip across in with Harry Winks. He puts it in. And it's cleared by Mina. Foul on Ben Davies by Hamas. So this should be a good opportunity here for Spurs to whip in across. Son will whip it in. He's got a nice little curling cross. Referee blows at half time. So it's 0-0 at half time. Would you rather beat Liverpool or Man City away in the Premier League to win the Premier League, says JLo? I'd rather beat Liverpool, yeah. There is an 8 PM show tonight, Kartik, yes, on the United stand. So, 0-0 at half-time. Spurs 2 good chances. Doherty and Kane nearly getting on the end of a chance. Richarlison with the best chance for Everton. If he cuts that back, Calvert-Lewin scores, and I've got 4 fancy Premier League points. But he's greedy. I've not seen a player as greedy as Richarlison in a long, long time. And is it true Mbappe wants to leave PSG and join United, says Max Yo31. There's a story out there that that he does want to leave next season, but not this season. And will Tottenham ever win a trophy again or the title? When is the last time Tottenham won the league, says Young King. I've never known Spurs win the league, so I can't answer that question. I remember them winning the FA Cup 91. I think they won a League Cup as well. I can't remember when that was. But apart from that, I don't think they've won anything else in my lifetime. I think it's a FA Cup and a League Cup. Has Thiago agreed personal terms with United? It's Dean Stallard, potentially. But I think he favours Liverpool, where he's probably agreed personal terms as well. The latest on Thiago is that, and it's coming from Bayern Munich's ex-president, who was the president as recently as November last year, that they suspect that Thiago has agreed terms with United and Liverpool, and that both clubs will try and get him for cheap at the end of the transfer window. What do you make of Firmino, 87? I know Aubameyang's downgrade, says Big Josh. I think that the FIFA scores that have been released are a joke, to be honest. Marcus Rashford's 85 and Martial's 83, so we'll leave it there. I think Sancho's pace is 83 as well, which is a joke. Cooking with Goldbridge will hopefully be this week. Who's on the 8 o'clock show tonight? well, that'll be a nice surprise for you. I can tell you, you will be very pleased. And low fat milk or skimmed milk, says Joe Mees. Well, I actually have lactose free milk because I think I'm lactose intolerant, so I avoid that. But it would be skimmed anyway. And Mark Jan Argafjortas tweeted that Jadon Sancho trains, says Anch. I know because I quote tweeted it. And I think Valshnaf, you're probably right. I think that they do favour other clubs and don't treat United well because United went to Pro Evo, didn't they? Probably the same that they do with Juventus, to be honest. Mark, do more shows with the ladies. That was a good show, says Geordie boy. And what will happen to James if Sancho joins? Or James, no, he's talking about James, says Hay Plays. So I went 2-2 in this game. I think I'm going to be very, very wrong with that one. Because I can't see there being 4 goals in the second half, but you never know. But it is looking like a draw at the moment. Thoroughly enjoyable game. 2 evenly matched teams, which is what I was predicting. Do you think ESPN pundits hate United? Sorry, Nathan says, do you think ESPN FC pundits hate United? Mark Ogden, Stevie Nicol and Craig Burley all talk a bunch of crap. Cheers from Australia. I don't think Mark Ogden hates United. I've never picked up on that. But Steve Nicol and Craig Burley just talk out their arse. So you're right with that, Nathan. And thoughts on James so far? Yeah, I think that I'm a big fan of James Rodriguez. Anybody who's watched the United stand over the last 6 years knows that. He's the original wand of a left foot to me. And I'm very excited that he's in the Premier League. My concerns with James, and it's proven, is consistency. Can he play like he did in that first half in the second half? Can he do it next week? Can he do it the weekend after? If James Rodriguez plays like he did in that first 45 minutes, he's going to be a very important player for Everton. But it's all about whether he can do that. I think he's had a very good half. I said that, Doucouré's powerful and he'll be a very good asset to Everton. But keep your eye on Alan and keep your eye on James, because they are 2 players that when they're on the ball, they don't give it away very often and they make a forward pass. And that is going to make Everton, with Andre Gomez, a very good footballing side. Richarlison is infuriating. He's a very good player, but he doesn't pass. And that's going to be very important for them. But I think James Rodriguez had a very good first half. And, he's going to be a real asset on corners and free kicks. He had that shot and Lloris was worried for a minute. So I think he's a really, really good player. But they're just showing you this chance back. Richarlison charging down the left-hand side. Lloris comes out. He rounds Lloris. He's just got to cut it back. And why does he shoot? Even if that's on target, there's a defender on the line. Why does he not pass that back? What's the latest on Reguilon? Because Eurosport reported he missed training today. Is he trying to force a move, says Marchie? I mean, from what I understand about Reguilon, it's the fact that he wants a buyback clause himself because he wants a future at Real Madrid. So, yeah, I think that's where we're at with that. Yeah. I've just got to do a tweet here because a lot of people are asking me to comment on a Telegraph have said that United are ready to walk away from a Sancho deal. Fantastic save from Doherty, from Pickford from Doherty. That was a good chance. So yeah, I think James Rodriguez has played well in that half. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Bottom right hand corner. We are going to do Brighton versus Chelsea tomorrow. I must just show you something as well. I know some of you may have an interest in this. If not, this is the Fantasy Premier League that's done officially through the Premier League. Interestingly, I am doing okay. I've got 4. Well, in fact, I've got more than this. Refresh. Do it properly. If you're going to do it properly. I've got 47 points at the moment because obviously Calvert-Lewin's got 1 point. But I'm doing okay at the moment. Justin, the right back, got me 8 points because he got an assist and a clean sheet against West Brom. Vardy's got me 10 points because he scored 2 goals against West Brom. So I'm on 47 points and I've still got some players to come. My captain is Werner, so tomorrow night it's going to be an interesting watch along to see how he does. We've got 10,000 people in our United Stand official league, and I'm also in a YouTube FC league. Let's have a look at that. I don't even know who's in it. So Vuj is in it, Spencer's in it, Thogden's in it. I'm in it. Alcott's in it. So I'm mid-table at the moment. But yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good with that. And as I always say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Now I can't turn it off. There we go. We're back now. A couple of super chats. That's not what I want on. Get off. Get off. Why is there no movement on outgoings? Can't keep saying that finances are not so good and have a bloated squad of dead wood, says Nitin. Well, I think, you know, you can relate that to Manchester United. You can relate that to Spurs. You can relate that to Liverpool. You can relate it to Arsenal. It's very hard to shift players on. Arsenal want to get rid of some players. United want to get rid of some players. The reason they want to get rid of those players is because they're not very good, but they'll be on good wages, so it's difficult to remove them. Son should have passed to Kane instead of Ali, says Salah Ahmed. And also Joel Morris, thank you Joel, he says, what do you think about reports that Bale is a Sancho backup option? I will cry and get very angry if Manchester United bring Gareth Bale to Old Trafford instead of Jadon Sancho. He's on double the money. He's on 600 grand a week. How did McTominay perform yesterday? Says Marketing James. He did okay. He was okay. He wasn't one of the worst players. I think the worst players for me were Delo, Rashford, Igalo and Maguire. Mark, please clarify on your most recent tweet regarding Sancho. Who told you that we are now turning away from the deal? This is really hacking me off, says Andrew C. Oh, it's just a story from the Telegraph. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. And could you do a video with Usain Bolt? He's a big United fan. He wouldn't do it, mate. You know, I can't just pick up the phone and say, "Can you do a video?" Thanks, Dean Stallard. How will you cope if Sancho doesn't sign for United, says Abhishek? I will probably do the biggest meltdown rant video I've ever done. I'll go absolutely apeshit if United don't sign Sancho, if they walk away. I don't care. They don't give us anything anyway as a club. They don't give us interviews or stuff, so I really don't care. I'll go absolutely mad. I wouldn't mind seeing Gareth Bale in the Premier League. For similar reasons, I like seeing James Rodriguez in the Premier League, but I wouldn't take him at Manchester United. I think we need to be more forward planning than that. And Gareth Bale has hardly played any football in the last 2 years. He's 31. Before he stopped playing football, he was quite injury prone. He's on 600 grand a week, allegedly. So, no, I don't want him near United. Venkat says Liverpool or City for the title. I said Liverpool. I'm not going to change my prediction having not seen him play. There is an 8 PM show on the United Stand. Yes, there is. And who's going to get the golden boot? Well, he's my captain. Timo Werner I went with. It's an outside. It's my outside bet to do it. And Joshua says, Bale to United, I would rather have a bag of cement on the right wing. Bale or Brooks, says James Baker. God, what a depressing choice. It's like choosing between having diarrhea or vomiting non-stop for a week, isn't it? I don't want either. Who do you want to win this game? I don't know. I don't know. I don't really care actually. I would like to see James Rodriguez score, and I've got Calvert-Lewin in my fantasy Premier League team, so that probably sways me towards those two players. But I'd celebrate them scoring more than I would Harry Kane or Son. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a neutral in this. I don't really care who wins. I think it's just an interesting game. Yeah. Hi Mark, who would you prefer, Ollie or Poch, or Ollie better man management? Thanks, Mark. I'm happy with what we've got at the moment, Chris Bees. If I didn't know what I knew, and you're actually if you'd asked me when Mourinho got sacked, I would have said Poch. But obviously Ollie's at the club, you know, we're doing okay. I wouldn't swap him for Poch at the moment. NFL back tonight, is it? NFL? I can see an advert. I would watch more NFL. I would watch more NBA. But I just haven't got the time. I haven't got the time to invest in watching that sport a lot. Peter Moore says, you said you know stuff, but you never give proof. Peter Moore has clearly got no idea about how you get to find information. Has Fabrizio Romano ever come out and told you where he gets his information from? And I'm not comparing myself to Romano, that's a bad example, but does any top journalist write Sancho's about to come to United because his agents just told me? That's not how it works. There's a circle of respect in football, and if I go and do a live show and say I've been told this information from this person, they won't give me any more information. I love Ollie, but Nagelsmann's next at United for me, says Dane Grayson. It looks like there's been a substitution for Spurs, Sissoko. And Tommy Two Tugs, I'm not answering that question, so thanks for the super chat. He basically wants me to decide between two old cartons of drink that I never drank anyway, so I can't answer the question. If anyone in the live comments wants to answer it for Tommy, please do. He's asked it twice, but I'm not answering it because I didn't drink the drinks. Dan James is better winger than Bale. Who puts out dumb stories like this? Says Venkat. And Kovacic or Ndombele, says Big Josh. Kovacic. I'm a big fan of Kovacic. I think he's a good player. Yes, I do. I don't know who he's come on for. Mourinho looks a little bit unhappy, but I don't think you should be too unhappy. I mean, they could have gone in 1-0. I mean, Everton could have gone in 1-0. They could have gone in 1-0. It's been that sort of a game. Kicking off, second half. Time is up and running. I mean, what I would say about that Telegraph article about Jadon Sancho, can I just give you an insight into the world of journalism at the moment? It's very competitive. Everybody wants people on their website. We were told this yesterday that United... Friday night, I did a video talking about the Manchester Evening News saying that United... I did a video on Friday night called Sancho Alternatives, and this was based on Sky Sports saying, James Cooper saying, United will walk away from this deal if they can't get him for what they want. 2 days, 48 hours later, the Telegraph do an article saying that United will walk away. And are looking at alternatives. This is regurgitated information. But basically, if you're the editor of the Telegraph, you tell a writer to say that, you know you're going to put thousands on your website. If you want the cynical reality, that's what's just happened there this afternoon. The Telegraph have written an article about something that is already known as a story, packaged it as a news story, and everybody will click on it. And the best thing about Telegraph is they want you to subscribe. and not like I want you to subscribe to That's Football and it's free. Click the button in the right hand corner. You will get the first sentence of that Telegraph article, and then it will be sign up for free for the next month, and then you'll be paying a certain amount of money to the Telegraph each month. It's manipulation of information, and it won't even be true. Harry Kane down the right hand side. He takes the corner. Interesting. Don't know why he didn't just cross that in, but probably thinks a corner's a better option. Is the Telegraph reliable? No, not really. James Ducker writes for the Telegraph, but he's not the one who's wrote that. So, exactly, it's not even the Manchester United correspondent that you would trust. Corner coming here. And Everton will clear that. And it's Decore. Alderweireld shoots. Do you think the UK is heading for another lockdown, and do you think it will affect football, says Joel Morris? Good question. And Nagelsmann to City when Pep leaves. Deal agreed, says Centurions. 100 points. Could happen. Could happen. Do I think we're heading towards another lockdown? I hope not. I hope not, because I don't see the point. We've had a lockdown. We came out of it, and it came back. So what's the point in having another lockdown? You just putting the dam up to open it up again. I think the best solution is to find a way of living with it, because you can't just lock everything down again, cancel operations, stop people's education, impact on everybody's mental health. You just can't do that. So, I think we've got to the point now where, COVID will kill people, but so will mental health. So will all these people who can't have their operations. There's almost like, I think we're at that point now where, COVID's going to kill some people, but the lockdown's going to kill more people. So I don't think it's a good idea, in my opinion. Mark, rate Nuruddin, KG, Adam, Ricky, Saeed on their football opinions. Nuruddin and Adam, top two for me, always sensible and well thought out. Nope, not going to answer that. Do you think I've got idiot written on my forehead? I'm going to rate the people who do the fan cams on the United stand, so that, never going to do that. Afternoon Mark, United title challengers with Sancho, says Sam Roos. No, we're not title challengers even if we get Sancho. Big Josh says, Mark, I've lost my rubber. Have you got a spare? Basically, head down to Colston Bassett Primary School, check under a tree in the bottom right hand corner, and there might be some that fell out the bag. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. See what we're doing on that score. We are doing Chelsea Brighton tomorrow night as well. Looking forward to that. Calvert-Lewin could have had a goal. He hasn't. But he hasn't. And a similar start to the second half to what we had in the first half. Here's Andre Gomez. Very, very interesting midfield three for Everton as well. Alan, Gomez and Decore. I think they've got a good combination of playmakers and physical prowess. Now here's Calvert-Lewin into the box. He's very wide. And he played it lovely to James, and he didn't connect. Could have been an assist there for Calvert-Lewin and a goal for James. What you cooking next on going for Goldbridge, says Kendall M. Well, I don't do that. I don't tell people that the video goes up and then you see it. I've got an idea, but I don't put it out. Who got subbed out for Sissoko? Is it Hoberg? No. Mora. So it's typical Mourinho, isn't it? He's gone defensive. No, Lucas Moura's on as well. Dele Alli has gone off. Must be injured. Anybody know why Dele Alli came off? Must be injured. I don't know. We've already spoken about the Telegraph article. I don't need to click it, and I'm not going to pay for it either, because Telegraph is a subscription website that you have to pay to read. Richarlison, sitter missed again. Pink Boots Pratt. Right on his head. And I think it's James who put it on his head. It's a delightful ball by James Rodriguez, and Richarlison is a Pink Boots Pratt. Puts it right on his head. Tosser. Danish says James is so damn good. And Ali Als does as well. I tell you what, I'm a big fan of James Rodriguez. I don't know whether you've heard me say it before. Richarlison with the cross, cleared away. It's a shot for Gomez. Oh, good block, corner. Good block by Doherty. Everton knocking on the door here. What do you think of James so far, Mark? Says Kendall M. I think he's been really good. I think the thing for Everton is they've got to keep... Ancelotti's got to get the consistency into this team. They've got to keep it going. I'll be keeping Calvert-Lewin in my team for next week because they're playing West Brom. But there should be some goals in this team. Do you think anyone will buy out United? Thanks, says Chris Bees. No. No, I don't think the Glazers are going to sell. Cross comes in. Headed away. Lucas Moura's going to get away here as well. Oh, Decore does well. Does very well. Because James Rodriguez... Sorry, Moura could have been in one-on-one there. Spurs on the break. Lovely ball into Richarlison. And he wins a free kick. Who's your captain in Fantasy Premier League? Harish. You'll see him playing tomorrow night. Timo Werner. So I might get a bit excited if Werner scores goals tomorrow night. Because if you play Fantasy Premier League, it does make watching other games a little bit more interesting. So I have got Timo Werner in my team. If he bangs a hat-trick tomorrow, I'll get 100 points, I reckon. But opportunity to whip a cross in from Digne here. This could end up 0-0. I don't think it will. I think it will be... I said 2-2 before. I think I'm going to go 1-1. Digne with the cross. It's a decent one. What a goal! It's Calvert-Lewin. He's done it again. Goldbridge has got gold in his fingers because Calvert-Lewin's up front for me in my Fantasy Premier League side. And that is 4 points. So well done, lad. Lovely cross by Digne. And that's another one. That is another one. Thank you very much. If you want tips on Fantasy Premier League, I'm not giving any. I want to win. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. (1-0) and it's a towering header. Absolutely brilliant. He gets up really, really well. I don't think there'll be an aspect of a foul here. He does put his hand on top of Alderweireld's head. But I don't think they'll go back and they better bloody not. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? I don't see Spurs finishing above Arsenal. Spurs will be left behind this season, says Rubbernicking Gang. And change the score, Mark. Yeah, I'm just about to do that. I was just bathing in the brilliance of my Fantasy Premier League predictions this weekend. You've got to love it. And Everton are buoyant here. And whoever said it's going to be 0-0, I still think 1-1. But lovely cross by Digne. He's a very, very good left back. He's a very, very good left back. And Everton have started this half very well. So, let me entertain you. Do. Hell is gone and heaven's here. Right. Spurs on the attack here with Sissoko. So here's my fantasy Premier League team. I've still got loads of players to play tomorrow. I've got 5 players to play tomorrow, and I'm already on 50 points. So I've got Tierney and Justin who got clean sheets. I've got Willian who got 14 points. Sahar got 8 points. And I've got Vardy on 10, and Calvert-Lewin's just scored. So that's 5. So I'm on 51 points. And also Vardy's not had his bonus points put on, which he'll get 3 for man of the match. And at the moment, Calvert-Lewin's man of the match, so that could be another 6 points. So we're doing well at the moment, but still plenty of time left in this game. I did predict a draw before it. Fantasy Premier League is not about getting as many superstars in your team, because you can't get all the superstars in. Fantasy Premier League, if you're going to do it properly, if you want some tips, put a bit of time into it, look at the fixtures. Try and look 2 or 3 in advance as well, because you can only make 1 or 2 subs a week without losing points. And yeah, look at players that are going to do quite well at lesser clubs. Like, you know, people will want to have, I want Aguero, Kane and Martial. Well, no, you can have Vardy, Calvert-Lewin and Werner like me. I will have Martial in my team next week. Vardy will be coming out. I got Salah in my team, and I got 27 points as the alien. You see, I take more satisfaction not having Salah and having people like Willian and Zaha, because they're cheaper and I can spread my team out. Digne or Targate, says Kendall. Don't make me choose. Don't let me choose between 2 fantastic French left backs. I'll tell you what, Calvert-Lewin's an interesting player though, isn't he? Because he's very young, but he's brilliant in the air and he's actually quite quick. He could develop into a really good striker, you know. Keep your eye out for him. Tell me, how old is Calvert-Lewin? How old? Hurt my thigh. And Pickford there. Don't forget though, Arsenal, Everton, Spurs have had some good chances in this game. Got a really itchy nose. He's 23. Bergwijn's on. He must have come on for Lucas Moura. No, he's not. He's come on for... It must be Højbjerg. Put Sissoko and Vinks. I wasn't looking. He's on for Vinks, apparently. Oh, Harry Winks. Sorry. Yeah, he's on for Winks. Thanks, everyone. So half an hour to go. Everton leading 1-0 from a Calvert-Lewin bullet header from a Digne free kick cross. And Spurs having to go more attacking now. They've got Bergwijn, Kane, Moura and Son on. They've gone 4-4-2 really. And it's a throw in there to Spurs. Be interesting to see when Everton make any changes. I don't know why I call Harry Winks Harry Vinks. There's no logic. He's English. I don't think he's got any German background. Zayn Miasi's laughing. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, he'll be loving this. Arsenal fans could be eating well tonight. Oh, my green screen. I think it will end in a draw, yeah. What backup striker would you like United to sign, says Chris? I'd like Calvert-Lewin. I'd like a player like that. Yeah. Here's James on the ball again. See what I mean? Never gives the ball away. Digne did, though. So what's your thoughts about... I think Everton have progressed up the pitch well, and they've played, you know, quite pleasing on the eye football. I think Spurs have struggled. The question mark about Mourinho is always the same question. His style of football is just not easy on the eye. And they create chances, but... And they've got good attacking players, but it's just... it's not very progressive, is it? Everton... I've got a lot of good players in that side now. Pink Boots is on the floor. Spurs look awful, says J. David. And I think Jose will get sacked, says Base Apex. I didn't predict who was going to get sacked, actually. But coherence is just not there from Spurs, says Yash. Best goal per 90 minutes in the Premier League. Sergio Aguero, Thierry Henry, Robin Van Persie and Drogba, says Red Fred. There you go. Do you think Greenwood will start the next game for United? Yep. Oh, look at this play by Calvert-Lewin. He's on his own. Richarlison into the box. Back to Calvert-Lewin. Oh, that's a poor ball. But they've still got it. Alan. Now it's with James. Decore. Oh, that's a bad pass by James, and Spurs can react here with Sissoko. Lovely skill by Sissoko. James with the recovery tackle. Sissoko goes wide to Bergwijn. Lays it into Son. Good tackle that. Well done, Coleman. Read it. And then he gives it away. Crucial bit of play here. Mora with the cross. Cleared away by Keane. And Richarlison's got it. Who do you think is going to get the sack out of... Well, look, it might not happen this season, but who do you think is going to get the sack out of the traditional top six first? So Spurs, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea. Who do you think will get the sack first? It might not happen this season. For me, I'd say it'll be Ollie, Lampard or Mourinho. I think Arteta's going to be safe for a while. I think Pep will be safe, and I think Klopp's safe as well. So I think it'll be one of those three. And to not sit on the fence... I mean, it's easy to say it when Spurs are losing 1-0 after an hour, but I would say Mourinho. It could be Lampard if Chelsea don't do well, but I mean, I don't see Chelsea not doing well with Ziyech and Havertz and Werner. I just think that Chelsea are going to score a lot of goals. Oh, look at that play by Gomez. Gets away from Keane. Alan. Keeping the ball very well here, Everton, at the moment. And it's causing Spurs problem. Everton are way better on the ball than Spurs. Just can't get a foothold in this game, Spurs, in a ball possession way or a coherence way, like the previous person said. They're really, really struggling at the moment. How many goals will Harry Kane get this season? Well, he hasn't had a shot in this game, has he? This is something that I said before. I think, you know, Harry Kane, when he was playing under Pochettino, was probably averaging 5 chances a game. Under Mourinho, it's going to be less. He's going to get less shots on goal. So, I don't know how many goals he will get. Here's Bergwijn. He'll go and score now. Son. Everton are well organised at the moment and a threat when they get the ball. And this Everton team's got some grit about it, says Sean Savage. Look, Ancelotti's a very, very good manager. Wherever he's been a very good manager. And you saw the improvement with Everton when he went there. It was just too... Oh, Calvert-Lewin's got to be offside. He's offside. Yeah, you saw it when he went there that there was an improvement. Could you please shout out my mate Harold, says H. Thomas. Shout out Harold. Thanks for the super chat. Dean Stallard says, do you think Roman Abramovich will expect Lampard to win the league this season? You never know with Chelsea. I can't give the answer. He shouldn't expect that. Andre Gomez comes off. And Sigurdsson comes on, and that's quality substitutions. If Everton can keep people fit, their bench isn't too bad either. Alan's top class, says I said that before the game, didn't I? I said James Rodriguez and Alan, keep an eye on them. And they're just so good on the ball. It's going to bring so much to Everton if they can be consistent, those two players. They're just so good on the ball. And, of course, Ancelotti knows everything about him. Good header there by Lucas Moura, but Pickford saves it easily. 22 minutes to go. Decore's been all right, hasn't he? Kieran says, has Decore been all right? I think Decore's been okay, yeah. I don't... My question mark about Decore was that getting relegated with Watford, some of those Watford players have got to look at themselves. Lovely ball into Richarlison here. He's down the left-hand side up against Sissoko, needs a bit of support. Oh, what a hit. Cuts inside and curls it. And if that had come back enough, that was top corner. Just wide. Lloris has got no chance. But it's James Rodriguez again. It's James Rodriguez who gets the ball out to him again. And tell you what. I'd love to see how close this is. Here we go. Richarlison. It's not as close as I thought. Would you have Carlo at United, says Matthew Kirk? There was a time when I would have took Ancelotti at United manager, but not anymore. Do Liverpool really have squad depth, or are they lucky, says Karen Banzo? Well, I look at Liverpool's bench beyond people like Mane and Salah, and the drop-off would be huge, but they never seem to get injured. I think if Liverpool lost Mane for 6 months and Salah for a month at the same time, they would struggle, because they're just massively part of them. But in fairness to Liverpool, they've done it for 2 seasons in a row, so why can't they do it for another season? Lord, what a ball by Alan there. This is brilliant play by Everton. Coleman gets it wide to Richarlison. If they score from this, it's a great team goal. They're not going to score from it because Richarlison's played a crap ball, but foul by Sigurdsson. Liverpool buy well. They buy players that don't have injury records. It's all in the scouting with Liverpool. There's a famous story about Liverpool and Nabil Fekir. They didn't buy him because he had an operation on his knee that wasn't the normal standard operation, is the rumour. And therefore, there was basically, when they were looking at it, there was like, he could be fine, but there is a risk that in a couple of years he might get injured again. And Liverpool were like, no, we're not going to do that. Richarlison is super greedy, says Basil. Yep, he is. Infuriating at times, but Calvert-Lewin's got the goal I needed him to get from a fantasy Premier League, so that'll do. That'll do me. 20 minutes to go. Can Spurs get anything out of this? Nice play by Sigurdsson there. And here's Richarlison. Will he pass it this time or is he going to shoot? Shoots again. He shoots again. And he doesn't score. James' passing is fantastic. Yeah, it's if you know when it comes to James Rodriguez. If you know what he's all about, you know what he's all about. But the problem with James over the last 6 years has been consistency. Real Madrid, he was on loan at Bayern Munich. I just don't know why it hasn't worked out for him. And as brilliant as he has been today, can he do it on a cold, wet night in Leeds in November? You know, that's going to be the thing with James Rodriguez. Everton are going to be about consistency this season. They look like they'll cause people problems, but can they do it consistently? Yeah, I nearly said cold, wet night at Stoke, Tony Garner, but there's no Stoke in the Premier League anymore. But it's been a good game, hasn't it? I think whatever happens, impressed by Everton. I really like the look of that Alan. I liked the look of him in Italy anyway, but I think, adjusting to the Premier League is never easy. One thing I would say about Mourinho and Spurs is they're an established Premier League side and they play, they're well organised. And Alan's been fine. James Rodriguez has been fine. I think if Richarlison could pass, they'd have a very good team. And Spurs have done next to nothing this half. I can't even think of a chance that Spurs have had second half. They've been really poor. I think they shaded it in the first half. Second half, no. Mark, Spurs should swap Kane for Tiger Woods. He would be more useful, says Zayn Mias. Zayn's really got it in for Harry Kane. I think if you give Harry Kane chances, he scores goals. That's the thing with Leeds as well, says Cheeky T. They performed amazingly and applied so much pressure, but it's the consistency that keeps everyone questioning it. So, yeah. Can Leeds do that? What a header that is. Pickford punches it away. Pickford's actually had a good game today. That is the thing that defines and separates the Liverpools and the Manchester Cities and the big clubs from the mid-table clubs. Is that on their day, Everton probably look like they're going to be a good side, but next week they're playing West Brom. The weekend after that they're playing Crystal Palace. If they win this game today, or they get a draw today, a draw would still be a good result for Everton against Spurs. Then next week against West Brom they've got to win, and then Crystal Palace they've got to win. Everton have got to get used to winning, and it was the same problem with Leicester last year. I said for Leicester it's not about how they play against Liverpool or Man City, or they played well. And it's the same for Leeds yesterday. Oh yeah, remember Leeds on the opening day? They were a bit unlucky to lose 4-3. But then the following week they don't beat Fulham. You've got to go and beat all those teams. That's where you get your majority of your points. Kane never scores first game. I think he did last year, didn't he though? Ndembele's come on for Doherty, by the way. But it's Alan who beats Kane there. And now James Rodriguez again. Lovely ball to Richarlison. And ref says play on. Oh no, he's going to give a yellow card actually. No, he didn't. Ermi says that Decore reminds him of Vieira in bits. Yeah, little bits. Calvert-Lewin wins a foul. Spurs getting a bit frustrated here. 15 minutes to go. They've created nothing this half. Man of the match, Seamus Coleman, says AB. I mean, Seamus Coleman was a player a few years ago. We wanted at United. It just shows you how long he's been playing at the highest level. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Everyone's welcome on this channel. We've got another watch along for you tomorrow night. Chelsea's first game, the new Chelsea, first game in the Premier League against Brighton. Many people will be expecting a lot of goals and a 3-pointer for Chelsea, but don't sleep on Brighton. They're a well-organised side, and you know, that'll be a good test for Chelsea. They've got to get off and winning. Here's Spurs. 10 minutes to go. They've got to get something back here. Here's Lucas Moura. Wins a corner. Jimmy Max says Brighton are going down. I made that mistake last year, mate. You know what? Potter's a good coach. And his first name's not even Harry. But he's a good coach. They're well organised. 7-0 Chelsea incoming. Werner hat-trick. I'd love a Werner hat-trick because he's my captain in my fantasy Premier League side. So, Son with the corner. 77 minutes gone. And Harry Kane wants another corner and he's not going to get one. I prefer Klopp over Pep Ninja Master. I just prefer the style of football. Fulham and West Brom are going down. I don't know who the third team's going to be. We'll have to see over the next few weeks who's good and who's bad. Everton are finishing 6th, says Ermi. Too early to say. We are live at 8 o'clock on the United Stand. Yes, I'm sure we'll be able to talk about this. Well, there's a lot to talk about, actually. We'll be talking about the United season ahead now that we've seen a lot of teams. Mark, can you imagine Neymar in the Premier League? He will spend more time wriggling on the floor than on his feet, says Panka. You know what? I would love to have seen Messi in the Premier League. I'd love to see Neymar in the Premier League. I think one of the great things today is seeing James Rodriguez in the Premier League. It's just... I was very excited when Everton did... Even when Everton were being rumoured to do the deal, I was excited. And when they signed him, I was excited. And I don't think he's disappointed today. He is Mr. Wonderful left foot. He keeps possession. He makes things happen. He'll get a lot of assists this season if he plays like this consistently. Palace are going down. Ageing squad, says Dane Grayson. I don't know. Good win yesterday for Palace against Southampton. There's Alan again. He's so strong. Keeps the ball under pressure there. Spurs trying to pressure now. Trying to press higher up the pitch. Ben Davies down the left-hand side. Good chance to whip it in. Goes for a corner. Alan is a beast. He is very good. Headed away. Sissoko. Pickford's going to punch it. Again, it's a good punch. Fair play. He's done 2 punches today, Pickford, and they've both been very good. If you're going to punch as a goalkeeper, it's about height and distance. And he's done that twice, and he's done it well. I'm not a big fan of keepers punching, but he's a good advert in how you do it. Alderweireld wants a foul there on the edge of the box. He's not going to get it. Cross comes in. And Pickford's got it. Tottenham are coming on strong here, says Dean. Can't wait till we play Brighton tomorrow night, says Jared Wilson. Tune in. We're going to have a watch along for you. 8:15 tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Harry Kane not had a clear-cut chance in 80 minutes. Jose's going to get the sack. I think they've got winnable games after this, Spurs, to be honest, but it's not a good start. It's not been a good start. Everton have been the better side, I think, and Spurs not missing any big players, couple of new signings. He's got all his front four available. all on the pitch at the moment. Nothing creativity. I think Spurs miss their number 10. I think they miss a Christian Eriksen. I think they miss that sort of, you know, Bergwijn, Son, Kane, Lucas Moura. They're not that Bruno. They're not that De Bruyne. They're not that Eriksen. And I think Spurs miss that. I mean, where's Lo Celso? Is he injured? Eight minutes to go. Ali is a number 10, but he went off at half time, didn't he? Injured. And they've suffered. To be fair, Everton, that's what I'm trying to say. Spurs have suffered this second half. They've created very little since Dele Alli went off. Next pro club, Stephen. We will get something sorted with that. It's just very busy at the moment. It's very hard to do content other than That's Football and United Stand when it's Premier League's back and there's all sorts of transfer windows. Richarlison should have been taken off by now. I know he's a good player, but he's got no interest in passing, and when he does, he misplaces it. Lovely play here between Decore, Allen and Sigurdsson, and Calvert-Lewin's in. He'll hit it, and he hits it straight at Lloris. Good play by Everton there, though. Tonight shows at 8 o'clock. Zaheen on United Stand. Tune in for that. Looking forward to it with the guests. Wife's got a cough. I've told her to get a test. She's had it for ages though, and I've not had one, and that makes me think have a test because I might be immune to the old Rona. Oh, that's a bad foul. Højbjerg on Richarlison, and James Rodriguez just ran in to get involved. And I don't know whether there's going to be a red card here. Let's have a look. Richarlison. I just wonder whether Højbjerg has overreacted to this because it might be a red. Could be a red, this. I think that's why he's rolled around on the ground. Because he knows he's in trouble. He gets a yellow card. Could have been a red, that. Probably more. Yeah, I think a yellow's right, but it could have been a red. Seemed to be a little bit two-footed for me. But VAR's obviously had a look at it. So Højbjerg went in on Richarlison, but Højbjerg also rolled around like he'd been injured as well, so that might have helped him. Sometimes referees see through that, but it probably was just about a yellow card, to be fair. So free kick to Everton. Still about 5 minutes to go in this game. Everton leading 1-0. Spurs won't be getting the 3 points. I think that's safe to say. Can they save a point? Big 3 points for Everton if they can get it. Sets their stall out early. And who was it who said in their Premier League prediction show Everton will be the surprise of the season? Me. They need to have some luck with injuries though. If they pick up a lot of injuries, then that will be their problem. But Spurs have created nothing this second half. Can they do something in the last 5 minutes? Alan, man of the match, says YK. Spurs looking toothless. I don't think they're toothless. You give Son a good chance or Kane a good chance, and they'll be fine. It's just that there's no creativity. Here's Lucas Moura. It's a nice little ball. Oh, no, it's not. Pickford's got it. So, are Everton going to get a big 3 points here? Oh, mistake there, James. Oh, look at the skills. Look at the skills. Lovely little bit of play. Keeps hold of the possession, gets it back, gives it to Alan. And Everton now are looking to, with these cultured foreign players like Alan, like Rodriguez, they're just looking to kill the game a little bit now. Oh, if Richarlison could have kept that in there. Lav says, shit equals Spurs. And Noah says, come on, you Spurs. Calvert-Lewin comes off. Got his goal. I think, let me have a look at this, because this is quite interesting. The way they do the bonus point system on Fantasy Premier League, I can tell you who the man of the match is going to be for Everton. It's based on lots of different factors. And Everton, Digne is on 38, Calvert-Lewin's on 34, Pickford's on 31, and Keane and Coleman are on 28 and 29. So the way things stand, Digne will get the 3 bonus points, Calvert-Lewin will get 2, and Pickford will get 1. But that's as it stands at the moment. So Moise Keane comes on for Everton. I'd take Calvert-Lewin at United as the backup to Martial. Yeah, I think he'd be a really good player, but I mean, it won't happen. You know, Everton are on the up at the moment. They're owned by rich people, so they're not going to give us Calvert-Lewin for anything less than about 60, 70 quid. 60, 70 million. Can Spurs create anything? We're approaching the 89th minute here. Bergwijn and Ben Davies. And he's running out of options. He's had to go back there. Alderweireld. You wonder how long the ref's going to have on. Where do I think Villa will finish? I don't know with Villa. I mean, keeper's a good signing, Martinez. Ollie Watkins is a good striker. You know, Grealish is there. So I think Villa have improved on last season. And I think for Villa, it's about not finishing in the bottom 3, isn't it? Like it was last year. And I think if Grealish stays, they won't get relegated. I think the Fulham and West Brom are going to go down. And I think that the third relegation spot's going to be interesting. Alan's got man of the match. He's been very good. I mean, for me, it could have been Coleman, it could have been James, but yeah. Is Cristiano Ronaldo better than Ronaldinho? I'm waiting for Saeed for today's show. Will he come, Mark? Says Ajmel Cosman. And another new boy man of the match, says Deezy. 4 minutes added on. How do I join the United Stand Fantasy League? Says Thomas Clark. Links in the video description, mate. There you go. Just click the link in the video description. Jose's not happy. It's not the start to the season he wanted. Another subs for Everton here. Just killing time. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? James comes off. Is that a good game? Looks happy. He looks happy. That's the key. Ancelotti's got to keep him happy and focused. And if he does, they've got a hell of a player on their hands. I mean, this is a player who, no word of a lie, after the 2014 World Cup was considered one of the top 5 players in the world. Still only 29. Well, I say only 29, but 29. Not played a lot of football in the last 4 years, really. Exciting player. I like him. I like James Rodriguez. 2 minutes to go. Spurs don't actually deserve to get anything out of it, but the time's there for them to do it. Created nothing this half. Spurs need to get into gear quick. Very, very quick. Son, been very quiet this second half. Here's Lucas Moura into Son. Wide. That needed to be coming in. They need to whip this in. And Pickford will come again, and he'll catch it. And he'll go down, and he'll get up, and he'll kick it, and that'll take up a little bit more time. Literally a minute left now. I don't see Spurs having time to get up the other end of the pitch. They've done nothing in over 45 minutes this half, so I don't feel they're going to do anything in 45 seconds. Disappointing from Spurs. Look, I fancied this game to be the pick of the weekend. I thought it was an intriguing game because I think both teams are around the sort of same level. But Spurs' second half been very disappointing, and I think Everton have just grinded the game through and been very well organised, looked to probe. And Spurs, since Dele Alli went off at half-time, they've really, really, really struggled to infiltrate that Everton back line. And the only way they've looked like scoring is by whipping crosses into the box. They've not been able to pass their way through. And it'll be a very good 3 points for Everton. But it's not yet. Not there yet. Big clearance though by Everton. And I think Richarlison's just won a free kick. High up the pitch. And I think that will be it. Spurs are dire to watch, says KA. Although I don't rate Dyer as a centre-back. I have said that before. That's Seb going through. Thinks he's a little Dalek. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We are going to be back tomorrow for Chelsea versus Brighton on this channel, and we have got an 8 o'clock show for you as well. Ancelotti and Mourinho embrace. It's 3 very, very big points for Everton. They've definitely deserved it, and I would give them a lot of credit for that. And I'm excited to see what Everton are going to do. I think they're a very watchable team this season, Everton. James Rodriguez, Alan, Calvert-Lewin got me the points in the Fantasy Premier League team as well. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what Everton can do. And Spurs are going to have to bounce back very quickly. Mourinho will not be very happy in that dressing room because second half, they did next to nothing. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. We'll be back tomorrow with Chelsea against Brighton. Let's see what Chelsea have got to offer. Mourinho putting himself under pressure straight away. He looks angry. I think he will be angry. And they were very, very poor second half. But big up to Everton. James Rodriguez, Alan, Seamus Coleman. 3 fantastic performances from them. But a very well organised team performance defensively as well. Spurs could not break them down. Live on the United Stand at 8 o'clock. I'll see you on there. Thanks everyone.